Okay, we are back in Newtown. Thanks for clicking on my video. Last time we added in some trains, we added in a farm, we started expanding our city a little bit. We still have yet to get up to oil. I think you can maybe do that. And it's about time to start thinking about some metro stops. But we'll see if we get there at this point. Right now our traffic is at 75%, 74. So I don't think we need to worry about it. What is getting the lockup? This guy here. Doesn't seem to be a lot of traffic to me. This guy here. This is just kind of volume. It's not blockages. These intersections, these interchanges, they're gonna, especially these ones here, they're gonna take anything you throw at it. If these intersections get blocked up, it's not because of the intersection, it's because of the traffic lights situation at the end of them. Even these guys, they'll take a lot of traffic. You just have to worry about where that traffic is going and what stops it there. Like if I were to put a traffic light here, then this would start getting backed up. It's not because of the interchange, it's because of the light. I think the best way to resolve that is just to make sure that you have options. That not everybody's forced to go through the same path to get to the same place. So, let's see. We've got high residential demands. Maybe we can start thinking about that a little bit more today. So, let's see. This is... That's our arterial here. I bet you we can make an interchange here if we need to. In the meantime, let's just let's add some more residents in there. So this is 5. We're going to take that another 7. Then we're going to do 11. Let's see what happens there. And again with the darkness. I wish this saved, so I didn't have to keep doing this. Looks like these guys want some more parks. Makes sense to me to put a little cafe next to the train station. They like that. And maybe we'll put a park back here. Something interesting. A pond park? Is there one that's... Yeah. Put that guy there. Like that. And I'm just leaving room here just in case A, I want to make this a interchange, and B, I want to make a pedestrian overpass there. There should actually be a pedestrian overpass here. And in fact, let me do that because now that we're creating new homes, I don't feel bad about bulldozing these few homes. I guess it's going to be more than a few. But still, with realistic population mod, I actually set the low density residential to the vanilla calculations, just because I don't want an entire continent of suburban sprawl. In fact, let me just go ahead and make this interchange. Why not, right? Grab our spooey. Reconnect up the streets. And there's nothing here yet, so there's nothing really tying me to my grid system. So this one, I think we might do here. So instead of connecting these up here, which I think will be a mistake for traffic reasons, we're going to kind of snake it around. Down, 2 should do it. Then what can we do here? So one of the fun things you can do with node controller is I can make one of these crossing. So what we can do is we can grab move it, hold Alt to stay in a line, and we'll just move this node a little bit this way. And then we use node controller to make that into a crossing. And then we reconnect our path. Okay, then we can actually stick a connection there too. Actually, I suppose there's no reason to keep that 3-lane. If you're curious, there's a couple things there's a whole list of what a node can be, but middle is going to be just like you see, where it connects them with nothing in between. If I make it a bend, it's going to allow me to change the offset on both sides, and there could be a space in the middle. I'm not exactly sure what stretch does. Okay, so it looks like stretch is a combination of the two. It's still going to make the markings in between, whereas a bend would not, and it allows me to adjust the positions. So I can see you doing that if you wanted to make sure, for instance, that some intersections were lined up like that. Custom is going to be what happens for an actual intersection. There's going to be no markings in between. And then the other things you can do, set that to middle. On a normal stretch of road, you can make it a crossing, which again, it'll pop a crosswalk in there, and pedestrians will actually use it as such. You can make it a U-turn, in which case it'll be like a mini intersection with Traffic Manager President's Edition. You usually have it set to every single intersection in the game is no U-turns, but you can force a U-turn. So the reason you might want to do that is if you have, I'm purposely not building roads like that, but let's say you have an entire stretch of road that is just one road, there's no intersections on it, and there's a median. What that means is if you put an ambulance here, for instance, and it needs to go to a house that's sick over here, it has to go all the way to the end of the street and then all the way back, just essentially go across the street. So what you do in that case is that you take a node, like preferably right next to a service, you make it a U-turn. So that means if you put, again, the clinic here, now it only has to go up to here. It will make a U-turn and will go back and hit this guy. So those are, I believe that's all the modes that you can find for an intersection with node controller. I'm just plopping those wherever because I have network multi-tool, which will allow me to make it a lot prettier. from here to here. We want a nice straight line. Then we're going to go actually from here to here. That's going to be too much. So maybe we'll go from here to here. That looks okay. This guy's already all marked up because it's in the workshop that way. And so I'm leaving the bike lanes off here. I don't really want bikes going through here, so we will. And I don't want pedestrians going through there either. So we'll make them little paths. So and I'm actually okay with bulldozing those houses, just again because you don't want anything too close to an interchange like this. The last thing you need is somebody pulling out of their driveway and holding up entire lanes of traffic along an arterial. And why is this happening still? This is so weird. Connect up over here. Too close. Why are you doing that? Okay. Our farm level 4, farm maintenance building. Okay. How is our broad agricultural area doing? Needs about 100 more workers in order to get to level 5. So we'll toss in 2 maintenance buildings and that should be enough. Because the maintenance buildings are 75 workplaces each. Again, I'm not sure what they do other than reducing pollution, and the only thing that's really polluting, I think, are the flour mills. So, not too worried about it. But it's jobs. Okay. Just double check again. We're not importing anything, that's good. And for this week, we're making a profit. What's our next milestone at? We're almost there. 16,000? Alright, so more residents. Now that I'm thinking about it, I just want to make sure that we're not having any pedestrians cross over around here. Okay. I actually like the fact that a lot of people are still using this overpass too. So we can make this a little prettier. And actually another thing I like to do, I don't know if I want to do it here, but if we go into our paths, these Hong Kong pedestrian overcrossings, they actually look rather pretty. I like using them. And so what I'll do is on the elevated sections, let me put them like that. A lot of the times I'll just do that on every overbridge. So like I'd put them here too. But that's a lot of work to go through and redo every single overpass in the city. So we'll just call it this one for now. And it's not the kind of thing where I want to use RON, the network replacer, because just aesthetically, I like it stopping here. I don't want the covered part to go all the way to the ground. And RON has no way to distinguish between this section of elevated path and this section of elevated path. This looks like it's become a traffic light. I don't want the traffic light. I want just yield signs until traffic light becomes necessary. Okay, back to housing. Now that I've built that, I wonder if that could be too noisy. That's really going to be too noisy. Nobody's going to want to live there, but we can put people here. Even with the sound bars, that's noisy? Okay, that's not the highways, that's the train station. So we got the cargo station here and the train station here. That's just a lot of noise. But I can... We'll lean into the noise a little bit and put some commercial down. I will leave this for now. What I am going to do is paint some trees in there and start to Maybe cut down on that noise a little bit. Do we have room for trees here? Yes, we do. Look at that pretty little highway. Said no European ever. What am I doing here? Noise. Okay, is that... I still don't think that's enough noise reduction to really put residential in there. So this might be more commercial, it might be offices. I might just leave it alone. Don't know yet. Can we put in more high density? Ooh. Land value. So the answer is yes, we can put in more high density. I'm not sure why these aren't leveling up yet. So let's see. They're okay on health, death care, fire, police, education, mail, transit. No, not disaster, but I'm not going to build coverage. The noise is okay. So yeah, I don't... Maybe there's just not enough people? I don't know why they haven't leveled up yet. Maybe there's not enough educated people. We're starting at low on trash. We're still in the yellow, which is okay. What is this, guys? There's not enough raw materials. That's probably a traffic issue. Forest level 5, yay. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, so he's waiting on a truck from the outside. It's going to take forever. So that is not... What does he want? He wants oil products? Okay. Well, suit yourself, buddy. You're going to be waiting. Okay, so we're going to make our university here. Our airport was going to be down here. So we'll expand residence down this way. No, that was going to be another campus block. How's our parks looking? Services, services, services. Okay, we need another park down there. Do I want to make... Yeah, you know what? Next to our university campus, we'll make a city park. I don't know why a park gate needs power. We'll go with it. Do I want to just start off as high density here? Huh. Go to bigger crossings. Services, how are we? Fire's right there. Could use a fire station up here. Police. It's okay. Hospital availability. Okay. We could put a little... Let's see. By the school, by a park, we'll make it a little yoga center. I also have some pretty cool park assets. These Hong Kong buildings are pretty cool. But the best one I've found is nice and easy. You can get with a level 1 park. This guardian angel statue. It says it's only an entertainment value of 90, but boy do people like it. Alright, so we're at 400 out of 200 entertainment value. I'm just going to leave the park as it is for now. We'll come back and decorate it more later. I just kind of want to block out the space at the moment. That pretty much takes care of our residential demand too. So, starting to get some industry demand from all the low educated people that are coming in. Traffic still looks okay here, so I don't feel too bad about just plopping some more in. Seeing what happens there. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but the commercial meter you want to keep at around 50%. Do not zone commercial so that this goes down to 0, because that messes with the entire chain. It's a symbiotic relationship. So when you get the first thing your town wants is residential, your town artificially pumps up the resident meter, just so that you can actually grow a city. With uneducated people coming in, it wants industry for their jobs and commercial for them to shop at. And if you have too much commercial, you're not going to have enough industry demand to meet the commercial need for goods. So if you always leave it so that there's a medium demand for commercial zone, your industry demand and residential demand can be your playthings. I'm not sure I explained that correctly, But the most important thing to take away from that is to leave your demand, your blue bar at 50%. So, Forest has a lot of stuff. Do we have a unique factory for Forest yet? Where's my unique factories? We have one unique factory, the furniture factory. Okay. So we have theirs. Oh, milestone. Liberal Arts Campus. That's the one we want, I believe. Crematoriums. This is the good stuff here. And the rest of it I don't really care about. Okay, so... Oh, we can put in our bakery. That's one thing we can do. I'll just put you right there. So you can feed off this, this, and this. There's generally not enough. There's generally not a reason to have their production rate of unique factories anything less than 150% with proper planning. The only reason I can think of to have these as less than 150% is if you have a real problem with traffic from the trucks. But since we're planning correctly, that will not be a problem. And this will be balanced for unique factory products. And this guy will only export to this guy. What else? So we got the furniture factory, we got the bakery. Does anything else just call for food and wood? Nope, need plastics. Need glass. Need plastics. Need plastics. Need glass and plastics. Okay. But we need more industry. Actually, what does our education levels look like? 3% highly educated is not really enough, but I think we can start adding an office or two. And we can put that up here. With realistic population mod, one of the things you have to be very careful of is your office buildings. Because of the way workplaces are calculated, a level 1 office building, 76 workers. Level 2 office building, maybe 100 workers. But level 3 is skyscrapers, and as soon as you get a tall building, this will jump up to 1,000 workers, and almost immediately it will start complaining that there's not enough workers for it. So you build one office at a time until that skyscraper is full of people, and then you build one more office at a time. Even then, you generally need to go into the, I think it's one of the mods. It's either life cycle, no, it is realistic populations, is it? No, it's Rico. You need to go into Rico visited growable options and make sure that, no, this isn't it. There's an option somewhere that you can turn off abandoned buildings, a building abandonment. Maybe it's game anarchy, but again, the problem is that an office is going to bump up to level 3. It's going to want 1,000 workers. and it's going to start off at like 250, and it will start complaining that there's not enough workers, enough to get abandoned. And so almost every office skyscraper that you allow to grow naturally with rebalanced or with realistic population mob is going to get abandoned, unless you just turn off building abandonment, which I do. And I can even go into Rico and plop down a gigantic office like this. It'll want 3,000 workers or whatever ridiculous number, and not only will it start complaining, but it will also drop this down, the industry demand. One building can satisfy an entire industry demand bar. So that one's already at level 2, and that's interesting. It went from 76 workers to 63. But either way, again, I'm not putting in down any other office buildings until this one pops up to a size skyscraper. Oh, speaking of which, we have some now. That's nice. Actually, given that's our skyscraper area, I don't want skyscrapers over here, so I'm just going to get rid of that guy before it does it, and we're going to put it over here. We'll give it a little bit of tree section before the elder home. And now is also about the time where I'm more seriously considering dropping in Metro, but I might wait for next video on that. I kind of want to still expand a little bit. So up here, we need to add in a park. No, need to build out our roads first. Then we'll start adding in parks. And I got to remember that this is going to be non-traffic friendly. I'm going to leave that alone. Why does it continue to do this to me? It's such a pain. Really? Fine, be that way. Both those are just a little outsized. But that's okay, this one has a few connections. Actually, I suppose there's nothing stopping me from making an underpass there. Or an overpass. And that way I don't have to worry about as much as traffic problems going in there. Okay. Not sure if I mentioned this mod yet, the better crematorium. The reason it's better is because it has up to 26 hearses versus the regular one, which I think only has maybe 10, and the graveyard only has like 6. So what ends up happening is I'll have plenty of crematorium availability, but as you get more and more citizens, there just aren't enough hearses to keep up with the death demand. So you don't need the facilities, you need the vehicles, you need the transportation. I'm just going through and putting in my services now so that I don't have to worry about kicking people out later. I'm so used to not worrying about money that it kills me how expensive some of these things are. know why that doesn't want to move. It looks wonky, but I'm not sure we can do anything about it. The no power issue, however, we can probably do something about. I think I might make a mirror overpath. Wait, what is this? I thought we got rid of that building. Damn it. That's such a nicer looking tower too. But anyway, here's my point. This is what I said before. 1150 workers for one building. So if we let this run, it's going to start complaining that there aren't enough workers. We're not going to let it run. I think what I did last time is I forgot to dezone it. I bulldozed it, but I forgot to dezone it. And look at this giant thing. This is now the biggest building in town. Well, not bigger than the solar tower. It's now the biggest building in town, and it wants 2,500 workers. So this one office building is going to kill my industry demand. Look, there's absolutely no demand anymore. Not only that, is with a town of 16,000, 3% of which are educated, there's not 2,200 educated customers or educated people here. So that office building will suffice for quite a long time. Okay, the sewer overpass, we're going to put you... here, I think. And we'll do our fancy overcrossing. Which was this? This was HK overcrossing 1. And we'll make this kind of a graceful curve, I think, rather than a line. Looks better. Well, not like that, it doesn't. There. And people are already using it. Nice. Still importing commercial goods. That's a little annoying. What I might do, well, let's see if this does anything. I'm going to add a warehouse for commercial goods here. We're going to put that, we'll try that right here. Let's see if that does anything. I'm going to set it to balanced until it has something in it, and then I can set it to empty. Just like this. Yep, see, here, it's complaining, not enough workers. Because it can only find 5,500 or 2,200. So if I let that, if I had abandoned buildings turned on, this would go red, and then it will get abandoned. Okay, we're now red in the trash, so we do not have enough trash service. Where are they located? There's one recycling center there. So where can we throw some pollution? We can throw some pollution over here, it looks like. Maybe... I'm actually going to toss it here. That way it can get down this overpass too. And now we're back at 89. Good. So we have barely any demand for residential, and we're happy with our commercial demand. We have zero demand for industry. So this is the time where you start building stuff out. And we can build our garden out. See? They love this statue. Little faceless dude. So we need 420. Actually, we don't have to do anything yet. We just wait until it gets 2,500 visitors. Maybe I'll start building up to oil then. So we're going to take our highway, and since the highway, it wasn't in our plan to go further than this up north, so essentially, and I don't think we're going to be buying these tiles over here, so there's no point in having 4 lanes go all the way up there. In fact, I think I'm going to have it narrow down to 2, gradually. Course. So, wow, we can get rid of some props in the road. That's a little annoying. Usually that kind of thing happens when you have collision off with network anarchy, but because I know that, I rarely ever turn collision off. So I honestly don't know why that's happening. Maybe it's a thing with one of my other anarchies. Tree anarchy is off. Prop anarchy is on. I might just get rid of prop anarchy. I don't know if that's the issue here or not. But I don't know that I actually ever use it. Okay. Back to the highway. Okay, that should be enough. I'll go a little bit more. Then we're going to go down to 3. For, what do you think, 10? And then we'll go down to 2. And we'll bring this up to the oil. I think we'll bring it down here, and we're going to pop in one of my favorite highway exits, or highway ends, termination. Still, I thought I made a, so this is the end that I like best. It just looks pretty, but the problem I have with it is that it's it's coming from a 1-lane highway. I thought I made a version that upped that to 2 lanes. What's the difference here? The middle arc flows in the opposite direction. I don't know. I also have this guy, but that's actually designed rather poorly, and it's rather large. The reason I say it's designed poorly is you can see that the highway exit on the south side of the thing here goes right across the roundabout. So it's not a good traffic design, because you have traffic that wants to just cross a roundabout. That's not what roundabouts do. So we'll give this guy a shot. And so we're going to put that. I wish that went still underground. Yeah, let's make that railway still stay underground. We're going to use move it to do that. I like to move it, move it. And then we can just change that to underground. And then we'll go back into our highway exit. And we'll plop that guy. I still can't do it that way, huh? Oh, that's right, because this guy goes underground. So let's do this version of it. Pop that right there. And then excuse me while I update this all to 2 lanes. Close enough, I think. So now we'll just connect these up. And I wonder, are we going to need another? We're actually probably going to need another interchange up here. Let me worry about the oil first, and then we'll worry about the interchange. So the trains are... Trains are there. And I'd like the cargo station to be on the same side as the factory. We can put the cargo station up north, I think, so that it's not interfering with traffic going south. Where are we going to put that? I'll put that here. I also want to make sure it's far enough from that intersection. So, competing things. I want to make sure that I have my oil field set. I want to make sure that I'm away from on this quadrant of this interchange. And far enough away from the rail line so that I can make another Y. So, and I also need to consider that I want a sponge. Alright. I'm going to put it here. And I think what we'll do is we'll make our industry just a little wonky. So we're going to put our extraction here, and then we'll put our let me put our processors here, I guess. I know there's a lot of oil up here, but the thing with especially a level 1 oil farm, you're only going to get the dinky little oil pumps, and honestly you really only need like 4 to 6 of those, so that actually doesn't really take up a lot of space. It's not like ore. But I'm trying to think smart about this in the fact that it's the processors that are going to want to go to the highway and the train station. And then I think, where am I going to put my unique factories that happen to require oil? I think there's only one unique factory that just requires oil, the petroleum refinery. And then, so exporting oil to the other unique factories, where are we going to put those? I think we're probably still going to put them up here. So that's going to be a lot of traffic. Which I'm thinking a roundabout's really not going to be the best solution for that. I know I did a lot of work on that, but I'm wondering if a proper service interchange like that guy's going to be better. The problem is I don't need highways going up north. Do I have a trumpet service interchange? There's a Y stack, but that's not service. That's system. That's a service, but it's going in the road's going in the wrong direction. Maybe we just custom make one? Maybe we just custom make one. Alright, not going to worry about it now. We're going to do that. We're going to deal with that later. Right now we're going to build our industry. So We'll do processor road. Processor road. I don't need elevated. Thank you. Processor road. Processor road. Why do I keep getting those mixed up? Extractor road up there. Processor road down here. We could go 1, 2, 3. Connect. Connect. And so let's see, it's going to be one way going down this way. One way here. Right, so this is where it's going to drop into cargo station. We're going to return this way. And then we also need room for service buildings. We can put service buildings down that way. Oil barracks aren't that big. 14U should do it. Where's this guy gonna drop off? It's gonna drop off there. I wonder if we can, if that makes sense to make that connection there. So if the processor's going up, it wants to get to here, and then it wants to get to here. So it's not going to go up that way. So this is not useful. Turn our big brains on. So there's going to be a ton of traffic going this way. If they want to go to the highway, what if I drop them down here to that second service interchange? Where's this road going? That is 10. Okay, that's where our next service interchange is going to be. And this is going to be a heavy industry area, so I'll make the big guy. which again means this guy's going to go away. That guy's pretty, and I kind of wish you guys could see the that roundabout in action, because it's very pleasant to look at, but it's not going to work for us in that particular location. Roundabouts are meant for low traffic situations. The reason you put in a roundabout is because you want to slow traffic down to avoid cross-directional impact hits, car accidents, and to eliminate the need for a traffic light to save the city money. So if you can think of those two reasons to put in a roundabout, you know that a heavy traffic intersection is not the place to put a roundabout. And since this is going to be industry traffic, a roundabout's not going to work. Not to mention we'd be going to 4 lanes to 2 for it. It's just... no. So we're going to build ourselves a custom... you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. We're going to build a custom stack, 3-way stack service interchange. We're going to upgrade this guy to 6 lanes. But actually, I suppose there's no reason for me to not just connect it up here. And we want to make it an overpass or an underpass. Highways at ground level. We can make the service road an overpass. Oh, come on. Let me do it over here. Fine. Stick with 12. Okay, so how do we make a 3-way stack? I know we have an example here. So let's plot that down as our example. Actually, no, we won't, because we're tired on money. So we're going to put is this cheaper? Yeah, it's cheaper. Nope, that's the wrong direction, isn't it? How are we doing that? Okay, so one side's going to have to go over. Okay. So just as another designer's note, there are three kinds of intersections for three directions. I suppose there's four. There's the Y, which is this is a Y. There's a trumpet, which I'm not sure there's an example of on the map at the moment. But a trumpet is the one that looks like this. This is a trumpet because of the little bell up at the top. And then there's the stack. Generally, there's the trumpet. Here's the Y. And we saw earlier the stack. This is the stack. So generally what you'll find, there's also just a T, but you're generally not going to find just a T on I suppose you can call this a T. Actually, no, this will be a stack. This is the vanilla version. Generally, you're going to find people use trumpets because it's relatively easy. There's only two bridges necessary, and either one highway is going underneath it and one's going over it. Doesn't really matter which direction. This particular trumpet that I have selected now has the off-ramps going as the bridges, which is going to be the cheaper version of it. You can also do the highway as the overpass version of it, which is going to be more expensive. And expense is generally what it comes down to in real life situations. The drawback to a trumpet is that you're asking people to make a pretty tight turn, and especially trucks don't like making tight turns like this, and so they would prefer a stack with nice long graceful curves. The problem is that with a stack, with any stack, be it 3 levels, 4 levels or more, you're adding bridges, which means there's added expense. Like even now, if you can tell, like this one is 44,000 in game, and this is 38,000 in game. Even with the larger bridges as the overpass. Do I have... So this is Yumble's version. This is 10,000. Like that's why you'll see a trumpet on a lot of three-way interchanges. But I've gotten pretty good at making trumpets. I have yet to make a stack, and so I want to try that out. So far, this is not looking pretty at all. I'm not really happy with it. Maybe I'll play around with it off camera, and we can see the results. So there are 2 lanes going in, so this is going to want to go down to preferably just 1 lane per. So lane math is still there. We'll make it work. Honestly, these don't need to be 2 lanes, but since it's coming from a 4-lane highway, we want to do our lane maths. Why is that arrow wonky? Oh, I know why. It's because it's a bus. I think this bus lane gives me more headaches than it's actually worth. But it'd be too much of a hassle to change it now. And I do want to draw your attention to this particular node. So you'll see how it's kind of an abrupt transition. But it's okay. This is a custom node. If I were to change it to a middle node, which means that these... What happens if I change it to stretched? That's just weird. But if I change it to a middle node, you'll see that that's a very abrupt transition between the elevated and the not. So if you change it back to even bends, I'm not really a fan of. So you change it to custom, and it's a much smoother transition. I notice it here as well. You can see that the transition is not pleasing to the eye. So you just change it to custom, and it turns better. I also have node controller set to automatically make nodes slope instead of flat. So sometimes if you just click on it, it will change the node and make it more pleasing. We got about 15 minutes left in this session. This is going to work as is, so I'm going to leave it alone rather than spending more time playing with it. I'll play with it off screen, so next session, hopefully, it'll look a lot better than that. If it doesn't end up looking better, I'll just change it to a trumpet. The trucks in this game don't care nearly as much about turns as the trucks in reality. One thing I want to do before we go, though, what's going on here? Is I want to get my oil in. So, extractors up here, processors and buildings down here. And I don't see a reason why we can't just make this bigger. One thing I will say is that oil fields are... What happened here? Oh, I hope it saved. One thing, oil fields are your most profit generating industry. So there's that to keep in mind. If a farm makes $2 to $3 grand, a forest might make $5 grand, or will make maybe $7 grand, and the oil will make 12 grand. And obviously, the bigger you make the fields, the more it's going to make you. Water and power. Water and power. Services. I'm not going to worry about it yet. I want to get these up and running. So our oil fields, we may not have enough money at this point to start making. These are 8,000 each. And how much is this guy? This guy's 7,500. Well, nothing for it. Just gotta do it. 3 should be fine for now. At least we'll start making some money. This guy, do not want import. Don't do that. Alright. That should be good enough for that for now. Residential demand. Alright. We're going to spend the rest of the session. We got 10 minutes left. Alright. We're just going to put in some residents. Actually could use some shops around here too, so let's put a couple here. There, a couple here. Maybe some corner shops. Alright, we got our oil industry in. We got our highway extended. We've added about 5,000 citizens. This building still doesn't have enough workers. We've added in a city park. I think this is where we'll leave it. Thanks for clicking in.